Hello fellow pilots, I'm Major Payne and this is another episode of How to Play, and today I prepare a good few tips for heavy fighter pilots, like most common mistakes I can see in battles that players do. Now currently we have in a game a Christmas event 2024, so we expect a lot of bombers, a lot of players in a game. It's going to be busy time and heavy fighters will have a lot of work to do. But there's a difference in this event, which is great because World of Warplanes team says that this year is different, so when you do your 8,000 personal points, you have to stay in a battle to get your reward, and then you can progress with your missions to get this lovely XB-42 bomber. So apparently it's not going to be a festival of quitting as every year before, when half of the team is quitting the game as soon as they get 8,000 personal points, so they can get the candy and start another battle and so on and so on. So that's a move into the right direction. But in terms of this hangar view, I know what you're thinking, guys. It's still very bad, yeah? It's looked like they wrapped this Christmas tree out of some winter map and just drop it into the middle of the airbase. And this Christmas decoration. But let's be cool and just, keep in mind that this game's still developing and, it's not World of Tanks, it's not World of Warships, not the same thing. Hopefully it's not gonna die. We keep our thumbs up and let's get back to the topic. So first advice, when we attack the bombers, we need to have some surprise attack on them. We can't just go behind in a straight line and be so vulnerable. We need to have at least 1 or 2 seconds of surprise. Like in this case here, I'm going under, I'm gonna attack this bomber and I will have this opportunity to put few shots before this bomber gets into his tail gunner, yeah? So I have this 1 or 2 seconds advantage, yeah? His tail gunner have this skill which reduces my firepower by 30%, so he can't use that straight away. Now, I'm barely alive here, so that wasn't perfect, obviously, but it's so much better than chase the bomber on the same altitude and go behind. Anyway, another advice is not to kill the bomber all the time. Like in this case, I'm chasing this bomber and I'm trying to damage him severely and leave him barely alive, and this is very good tactic not to kill the bomber. In this case, that didn't work out for me because he catch up fire and he eventually get killed. But this is very good if you leave the bomber and he can get killed over the sector by air defense, or he can decide himself to crash and take another plane. But that's take time, so that's why it's so good. Now this is another example here on this rocket base. I have the same bomber player and he's approaching this sector, but he's going head on because good bomber pilot try to close the distance to you and then jump it, take gunner straight away. So what you can do, you can fire a few shots in a head-on and then you need to dive, escape, look for another opportunity. You can't go right after him. Like in this case, he's busy with something else, then I go after him, and now he's already defending himself, you see? So it's very difficult. But in this case here, I have my bonus characteristics set up to get critical damage, and most likely he get critical damage, his tail gunner, so he couldn't fire at me. And that's why that I preserve much more HP. Now the most important kill is in a squall. So after 7 minutes of battle you kill the bomber and he can't come back. But in this case the bomber was diving, he's turning away from me, so he have much speed and I can't chase him, because if I would chase him now he most likely would kill me because I wouldn't be able to close the distance. So basically we can do something else instead and wait for opportunity. So if the bomber is flying very fast and turning away, don't go after, because this is suicidal, yeah? So I keep shadowing him, I look it up, what he's doing, where he is. So most likely he's gonna go for the rocket base, and that's my priority here, to defend this sector against bombers and kill them in a squall. So basically I keep trying. If he defend himself like that now, again, he's turning away, leave it, do something else, defend the sector. If you want to go aside of the map, fine. But if you want to come back to the rocket base, then you engage him again. But main thing is never go behind in a straight line, because I've seen that over and over again. Guys in the heavy fighters just approach the bombers completely wrong. Now I'm attacking him again, he's pulling his nose up again, defend himself, but that's too late. So basically I successfully defend this rocket base here. And that's in terms of the bombers, that's the best advice I can give you. Look for the opportunity and always attack from the side, below, or even head on, but never from behind. Now, another very good tip is when you're flying the heavy fighters, I've seen that over and over again. The heavy fighter pilots, when they engage any target like multi-role or light fighters, they keep going in a straight line. They completely forget that the heavy fighters, most of them, have the very good altitude characteristic and they can climb very well. So like in this case, I'm escaping like vertically. I'm not going in a straight line. I'm not going in a horizontal there. So I'm dragging. Even those so-called good players can be dragged and tricked like that, and we can dive back on them and basically kill them easily. Yeah. So remember that altitude is a king. You can survive a lot of engagements thanks to this, and it's also very good to attack the bomber from above. So you gain speed, you have much better chances to surprise the bomber if you are attacking from above. So this is only benefits in it. And changing plane on airbase is also a very good idea when we want to capture some strategic sector like rocket base or mining plant. That's okay, but if you in a flight and you both change for ground pounder, I would suggest to change back before the squall line hits. I wouldn't say this is the best idea to be in a squall into ground pounder when you're facing two heavy fighters. Anyway, another very common mistake I can see in the battles is when couple guys chasing one target, like one plane. So in this case here, it's gonna be chased by three other players, and this is such an overkill that makes no sense. Like you have to be aware that if there's other allies going with you after one target, you have to be smart. You have to give up. You have to stop chasing this predictable plane and don't waste your time, because this is basically waste of time. And you give me a win, because if a couple guys chase one target, they're not doing anything else. They not capture sectors. They're not doing kills. Of course, I'm not doing that either. I'm busy with being chased and escaping, yeah, but I'm winning thanks to this. This game is actually a great example because those guys here, they basically was winning from the start. They had much better progress. They had more sectors and they had more kills and everything was doing great for them. But then the table turned and they start losing, and they start losing just because they keep wasting their time chasing me down. So yeah, so that's the biggest advice. Be aware that you actually being trapped. If you chase someone with your allied, then this is a trap. You basically waste your time and you give up the win, because if you and your other heavy fighter allied going after one target, this is not good for your team. This is simply good for enemy team, because you guys waste time for one plane to take down one single plane. And this is such a funny overkill, and I can see that quite often in the battles that people go on and waste their time. Like in this case here, they keep going after me for half of this battle. I just had fun, and this was just hilarious. So stay aware that this is a trap, and if you're chasing someone with your allies, just give up. And you know what? This enemy plane can go after you. If you give up and you do something else, he can turn and chase you down because he's still being chased by your ally. So you see how that works, yeah? So this is perfect for you. You know that he is occupied with your ally and you can go and capture sectors, do something else. Now, my last advice is related to the build, how we build our heavy fighters. Like, I was building my heavy fighters, I can say, for years to counter bombers. So basically, I was putting reinforced skin instead of the light wing. So I sacrificed my maneuverability to have more HP. Basically, everything was needed to counter bombers. And back in the day, that was good. Like, I was basically countering a human player in a bombers mainly for 90% of the battles, because there was fewer player in a game than it's now. So now it's different. Now we have a human player in a bomber, and there's very often we have human player in heavy fighters and some other light fighters and multi-role and so on. So basically, now I have to be able to dogfight those heavy fighters. Like in this game here, I counter two heavy fighters, two Me-262, and basically, like in this map with such a speed, I'm gonna run into those guys every second sector. So if I'm not able to dogfight them, then that sucks. Like, you know, they're gonna take me out and I'm on cooldown and so on. It's not enough just to be able to go after bombers. So basically that's work like that. If I build myself to counter bombers, that's great. I have much easier time to counter bombers, but then I literally cannot dogfight those heavy fighters which are built for maneuverability. And if I build myself for maneuverability, then I can counter those heavy fighters, I can fight with them, and I still can't fight with bombers. It's not so easy because I have less HP, some less of the resilience kind of stuff, but I still can do it. I still can stop the bombers. But so that's how it works now. Like currently in a game we have much more players, and we need to be focused on dogfighting those heavy fighters also. It's not the time when it was just basically opposing the EF-131 or SU-10 in the game, and that's it. So that's how I build my heavy fighters now. I mainly put maneuverability build on them, and that's make my life easier. You know, it's easier to take out the multi-role, easier to take out light fighters, and give me a fighting chance against other heavy fighters. So that's the main thing. I know that I probably, in my previous video about how to counter bombers, I was probably showing some builds or advising builds to increase the HP pool and stuff like this to counter those bombers. But now the game is different. We have much more players in the game, and there's much more heavy fighters in the game. Okay guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you like it and found it useful. If so, please leave me a like and subscribe for future content. And let's do some bomber hunting and get some candies, and we check out new premium tier 8 bomber. I definitely gonna do a review about this. And I know that there is a request in the comment section about Key 94. I definitely will do some video about this. That's a very interesting machine. And don't forget about your daily missions, which give you much more of these candies, and you can accomplish this event much quicker. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and see you in the next one. Take care.